Hello everyone, so I finally have a swatching video for one of the Holbein Artists Gouache sets, the Irodori. This is going to be spring for our first foray, as well as the 4 extra tubes. I bought 5 extra, but one of them is actually in the spring set. And I think I'm going to stop there and do a separate video for each of the other sets. So let me know in the comments which one you'd like to see first, whether it's the fall, the winter, or we could swatch out the kind of Japanese watercolor as well as the Karatake or the pigment watercolors and the Holbein watercolors. So yeah, if there's a favorite one and that you want to see next, let me know, because these are kind of gonna come out maybe every couple weeks or every month, depending on what I have time for. So I'd love to hear which one people want to do next, since I can't, I'm just a one-woman show, so, and I've got other things going on that aren't YouTube right now. So yeah, thanks so much for that, and help direct which one will be next. And let's get into the swatching. The beautiful tubes are right here. I have some palette paper and some water to my left, so I think I'm just gonna squeeze these ones out. We'll save these ones for when we do that, and then we'll go in and do some swatches, and maybe I'll put a little piece of art on the end. We'll see how we go. You get a little overview of the squeezed out colors on the palette paper. And I am thinking I might just do a little flat brush. We'll see how this one does. I'd like to try to do like a raindrop shape. Whoa, a teardrop shape. I don't know. Can't talk. For my swatches, so we'll see how that goes. This brush might be a bit big for this. I might switch to something a little smaller. But I was thinking spring, raindrop. Anyway, just so it's a little more interesting than your average circle. Let me see if this brush does better. And of course, I put way too much on my palette, but maybe I can use that to paint something with using these colors afterwards. I'm not sure what I'll do. So this is vermilion. It's a beautiful, warm, orange-red color. This is the color I liked so much I bought a second tube not knowing it. At least I liked it from the outside because I hadn't seen it on pale coral. I think it'll be a useful color. I don't know how fast I'll go through it, but I do like this color. And it's a nice convenience color because, I mean, you can easily make this with white. I'm sure it has a lot of white in it, but it'll save my white tube, which I need to buy a white tube because none of these come with white, believe that or not. Yes, I need to buy a nice big white tube because the only ones I have are pretty small, and one of them's kind of dried out. And yeah, you use a lot of white. Next we have, I don't really know how to pronounce this yellow, but this is a nice darker yellow. It's a warm, is it warmer? I think it's warmer. It's Korea Japonica yellow. Maybe I'm butchering that. If anybody has pronunciation tips and knows how it's supposed to be pronounced, oh my goodness, I have to show you this. Look at my pretty water. That was the pale coral and the vermilion. They make a nice combination. Maybe I'll have to try that down below too. But look at this. Beautiful. This reminds me a little bit of New Gamboge, the Daniel Smith color, or maybe even Indian yellow. It's kind of got that vibrancy, that orangey hue to it. Very light orange. Now the next one is a very cool, it almost in the light looks like chartreuse or like a light green, but it is lemon. And it's vivid and beautiful. I'm still kind of a beginner in gouache, I would say, and maybe intermediate with watercolor. But yeah, it takes a while, I feel like. A lot of practice. You know, if you do it every day all the time, you'll go faster, but to get the right consistency to be able to paint with it. The right amount of water to paint ratio. And then of course with watercolor it's a similar thing, except that you can go a lot lighter with watercolor, I feel like, maybe. I don't know. This, sorry, is light ochre. This is a really useful color. Nice and earthy yellow color. I like using it in landscape type paintings. It's a little bit just streaky coming straight on, but we'll see how that goes. I do feel like it's, I don't want to call it weak, but I mean it is a little lighter when I've used this color in the past, but I really like using it for natural subjects. Look how streaky that is. We'll see how it dries. I feel like, you know, doesn't quite have the coverage that some of these others have. Now this one, straight out, is just one of my favorites, the pale patina, but of course, being in the blue-green range, does that surprise anyone who's seen any of my content? I'm always saying, I love this color, because I love this color. And it's blue friends, and it's greener friends. I just love this color. Nice and opaque. See, I'm going over my name there. Now what, this one doesn't come as often, I feel, in nature and landscapes, but you could mix it with things to get a more natural color. But yeah, this is sort of my just fun, I like this color, especially if I was just gonna paint, I don't know, just for the color. Like I'm not painting something well, not that I could paint photorealistic, let's not even say that. But like, say I'm just gonna put blobs of color on the paper for fun or warm up. This one and like the purpley color, those are the ones I seem to be drawn to. And so I have lots of those colors because I just like, oh, I want to buy that pencil. I want to buy that paint. And then I tend to do a lot of natural stuff or things that there's an actual visual of, not from, you know, imagination, and I don't use the color as much as I want to have it. I don't know if that makes sense. So Seedling is a beautiful grassy green color. This one I do think is very useful in a lot of landscape uses. Then this one, Maya Sodas Blue, is not new to me because I got it in a sketch box a long time ago. I really loved it then, even though I think you can probably make this color pretty easily too with white, you know, and a darker blue. I don't know the exact pigment, so I don't know how you make it. So yeah, I feel like you can make it easily with white if you had, you know, other colors on your palette. And you just mix in white, but it's so pretty, and it makes great clouds. And like forget-me-nots, you can add just a touch of another color, or just like imaginary wildflowers. That's a great color. Now this blue, what is this blue called again? Dayflower blue. I have it right here. I don't know why I had to look at the tube. Dayflower blue. Interesting that it has a flower name. This one also, I can see water scenes and sky. It's beautiful. But also the flowers. Is there such a flower as dayflower? I don't know it. Let me know in the comments if you know that flower. Where does it grow if it's a flower? I mean, what even is Myosotis? Is that a flower? That I don't know either. So then we have bellflower, which I'm pretty sure is a flower. A pretty flower even. And this one is a nice purple color, which I do love. These two colors together, I love that combination. They're my fun colors. But again, I mean, in nature, what are you going to use it for? Flowers? Probably. Oh, it's also probably a pretty good shadow color, but I did find I was playing around with just the spring colors, and I did have a little bit of a difficult time mixing darker values. So, you know, this is a fun set all by itself. Would it be one you can just rely on alone? I feel like you might want to add a couple colors. But then again, I'm no expert in color theory, so Let me know in the comments if you have this or are familiar with the Spring Irodori set and what you think about that. This here is silver gray, which when I opened this, I was like, oh, I'm not that excited about this one. But I actually like this color. And especially as a convenience color. You know, you can easily just make this with black and white. Super easy. But to just have it already ready, I liked using this. It's also, I like to use it in clouds, or if you have rockery in a landscape. Really like that color. Now, antique silver is a different one. Here's our last Irodori Spring color. And it is beautiful. But it's mostly like the shimmery mica, not super opaque. I haven't played around too much with it. I'm thinking like adding it to all the colors. Maybe I should do a separate little swatch. I could pop it on at the end of just a little bit of the antique silver mixed in with each of these colors. And a fun little exercise that I just thought of right now might be to just mix it in and make a painting, like a sparkly spring painting with just these colors mixed with a little bit of the antique silver. I wonder what that would look like. I gotta move my wet paints. I've got plenty to work with to make a little painting, so maybe I have to do that. Here are our swatches. I'll try to get nice and close, and you can see we'll start with vermilion, pale coral, I can't talk, Kyria japonica yellow, lemon, light ochre, which, you know, takes a little babying because it's going to be streaky. Oh my goodness, it took me a long time to figure that out. Pale patina. Then we have seedling, Myosotis blue, dayflower blue, bellflower, silver gray finally, and antique silver, which I'm trying to get the shimmer there. And before we leave, I'm gonna swatch out the 4 bonus colors that I purchased open stock. Just look at these beautiful colors. There they are, the 4 of them. Now I was interested because bamboo green, this is pale patina from spring, and this is bamboo green. It looks a little darker. I'm really interested to see how it swatches out. And then my moss green, it's got a little bit of separation there. Maybe I should have tried to mix it better somehow, but I don't know. Also to note, bamboo green is in one of the Irodori sets. The one that I did not purchase, which would be the summer set. And that's the only color that I bought open stock that was part of the summer set. But here it is. Ooh, it's so pretty. Bamboo green. Should we do... we'll just do a circle. I'm overthinking it, of course, but... And by circle, I am using that term loosely, because you know I can't do it very super perfectly. Just love this color. Now, gouache tends to dry a little bit darker, unlike watercolor, which dries a little bit lighter. And I think it can kind of vary a little bit, but it's an interesting, there is a slight dry shift. So it does automatically, like right now, look just a tiny bit darker than the pale patina. I wonder if it will dry even darker. And oh my goodness, look at this again. What a lovely color of wash water. You know, small things make me happy there. So, bamboo green, yes, I can see it. I feel like I can see it getting darker already. I really love that green, though. I don't know how close to bamboo I think it is. I don't know. But, maybe there's some bamboo in that shade. Alright, moss green, what is happening with your binder and whatever being separated? Now, moss green, ooh, there's some bamboo in there, too. Hopefully it won't cause a problem. Moss green is just... It's one of my favorite greens. I do love greens, but I mean this moss green. And this kind of yellowy, earthy green. It's just a really beautiful, useful green if you're painting natural scenes, landscapes. I mean, maybe other things too, like, I don't know, abstract art, if you like that color too. But that's where I love to use it. Like, look at this. It's like this really is something you would find in the forest or a little field. Like, I feel like it's a really useful color. Smalt blue, I believe I found this color from another YouTuber mentioning it. I cannot talk for the life of me. But this really is, I'm glad for their recommendation. It's a really beautiful blue. I'm not even sure what I would compare it to. But I just love it. And I haven't really used it yet in anything, so it'll be interesting to see what I like to use it for and what mixes you can do with it. I don't know. But look at this beautiful, it's just a true blue color. Ooh, and it makes some pretty colors with, we might just have to mix these two a little. Okay, ash blue. I have ash green. That's probably why I thought I'm gonna try ash blue, because I really liked ash green. And so I picked up this ash blue. It's kind of reminds me like a little bit of a Payne's gray, but yeah, it's kind of a moody gray blue, like a dark denim-y, but it's even a little more washed out denim maybe. I wonder how it would look really light. I don't know. Not sure if I'm making sense there. So that's my final open stock color that I picked up. And I have to say, I think they look pretty nice with the spring set. But if they don't go perfectly with spring, I'm sure that they will look lovely with one of the other sets. Or colors from the other set. Look at this beautiful color! Okay. I don't know where I should put this. Let's just go right here. I like this combination a lot. Okay, we're just making a little mess here. But, because this is like my favorite color. Right here. This is the smalt blue and the bamboo green. Hanging out together, making beauty. They make some lovely colors. Let's do a little more of the bamboo towards this way. That's a little too much. And my future self looking at this will hopefully remember how I got this color, because I've put almost the straight color on each end. You know what? I'll try to do the sparkly ones down here and then I'll just come back and show you. Okay, I'm only showing this to you because I said I would, but I don't know. It's kind of a failed experiment. I'm not sure how much I will add the antique silver to things. It does give a little bit of a shimmer. Can you see that? And also it's kind of a dirty gray, like, so mixed with lemon it makes a kind of a greenish, let me stay in there, and a little bit of a dirtier japonica yellow. You know, it kind of just dulls the color, so that's interesting, I guess. But I wasn't wowed by it. It is kind of an interesting addition to the spring. What do you guys think of the antique silver in the spring? I was also thinking, maybe, why isn't this in winter? Because maybe you could add a little bit of a sparkle, like adding it after on top, you know, here's the bellflower. Adds a little bit of sparkle. But then I did think of one case in spring, so a raindrop on something, maybe that's what they were thinking. Spring dewdrops. I do not know. I need ideas in the comments. What do you think? What would you use antique silver for? Or why do you think they included it in the Irodori Spring set? I would love to hear your thoughts, and I think that I'm going to try to do a little piece of art on a smaller. This is, in case you were wondering, this is the Royal Talons Art Creations sketchbook, but this is a big one. Oh look, I have the information right here. This is the 8.3 by 11.7 inch, which I think is great for bigger pieces, and for swatching, I have This was a drawing based on a photograph in here. But anyway, let's grab a smaller one that I can work with a little easier and do something. I don't know if it'll be spring. Let's see what happens. I'll put that on the end and speed it up. Let me know what your favorite colors are on this set. Would you get this set if you could get a smashing deal like I did? Or would you pick a few open stock? I'd love to hear which ones are your favorites, and I definitely need some help with the antique silver. Okay, so I've got a very rough sketch here. I was thinking maybe some tulips are kind of springy. I also wanted to show, oops, a sneak peek there. This is a Denik sketchbook that I've had for a long time. I'm so close to finishing. And I swatched them out on here, and I just wanted to show this other very rough little landscape painting that I did with just these colors. And so the clouds, the sunset, lots of fun stuff. And so that's a great idea there. I have my paints here, and I'm just going to try to do this little flower painting with these colors. As always, thank you so much for spending the time and supporting my channel. I hugely appreciate it and would love if you like any part of this, if you could hit the like button, and definitely look for more and be subscribed. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss that when I do more swatching videos. And I'll speed this up, put some music on, and I hope you have a wonderful and creative day. Bye. Okay, here's my little painting of some tulips in a vase, and I kind of just left it rough around the edges. When this is all dry, I'll probably go in with some colored pencils and add some details and things, because that's how I like to use the gouache. But this is my painting for now, and I hope you enjoyed seeing it. As always, thank you for watching. Bye!